Oh, I guess we're recording. Action. You see that? It just started recording by itself.
Heard it,
yeah. 9 seconds in. Well, welcome. I am not alone. We are not alone. I got a special friend with me. I said today on the live, me, you, us, we're all connected. It doesn't matter. This is a collective, and I figured since we did a Valentine's this or that, for this we had for those who are in a relationship, and that for all those who are single. Maybe we could do something for the collective who is looking for love. Yes, let's say for all of us looking for love. I'm looking for love, you're looking for love, are you looking for your love? The Queen of Pentacles, she holds the love.
The Queen of Pentacles is not the one in need. She's the woman of means used to enjoying affluence and comfort with money and wealth.
Ooh, the mother. I think there are cards.
Be in the now and take advantage of common sense.
Ace of Swords. Ooh. And the Nine of Wands in reverse. So we got the Ace of Swords in reverse. So this is some kind of lie. Or this could be a shocking event that, like, to the core, or something like to the core of the mind, the mental plane, which swords is about the mind. And this I see as winds of change, or either like emotion. I really see it as like a wave of emotion, but it maybe is the winds of change that create the wave of emotion. And this is where this uncertainty lies, what that is. The aces too are the self.
And swords?
The mind, the thoughts, the plans. And the aces also signify the beginning of said plans, thoughts. Or it could be about the one, the ace, the person, the self, the mind. So when it's in reverse, it's unclarity or uncertainty, where things are unclear. But I see when you add emotion to it, it brings some kind of enlightenment. You see that? How it's like, it reminds me of this, like something sudden, like a sudden like revelation, or something, a sudden clarity comes to uncertainty of the mind when we add some kind of emotion. Speaking of the winds of change. Oh wait, before we flip that over, the Nine of Wands is at the bottom of the deck with the Devil in reverse. With the Page of Wands. So maybe we're lacking, we could just be tired. The Page of Wands is in reverse, and we could be, that's it. We could want to be settled. We could want to settle down. It's like the Page of Wands upraise, going from 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. But in reverse, he's like, I'm getting off of this ride. I wanna ride one ride. You know, he's galloping. But here he's like, I wanna ride one ride, right? So we're breaking free from all of these strings, from all of this, from this one and this one and this and this. It's like, or other females, something about ourselves. Two of the opposite. One about ourselves. Something about a past us that's scared. Something that's connecting from the spirit to the key. But the key is between the scared us when we were little and the spirit. And then there's something that is like unrecognizable. Okay, and there's 3 people. And I still don't recognize this thing. I think maybe it's like a potion. Okay, it's a potion, and it's a ring. So the ring is this commitment, this stuckness. We're breaking these chains. We're breaking these chains. From the devil. The devil is all of these codependent relationships. It's the addictions. It's anything holding us to something that we desire, for that gives us some kind of like instant gratification, like something without sustenance, like something like drugs. Like, oh, I get high, But then what happens, I'm going to have to get high again, and I'm going to need a little bit more. You know, it's like never satisfied. We're breaking free from that. Almost like what I was talking about the other day. Remember what I was talking about the other day about the Tantra?
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
Because this would be like some kind of explosion. Here it's like holding it, like almost like that Tantra. And with the Nine of Wands in reverse, we're breaking free from this wounded warrior. It's almost as if we're done doing these cycles where we're being broken. We're done being broken. And this is the last one that's healing. With the Nine of Wands, he's saying like, oh, I'm not moving, blah, blah, blah. But here, it's almost like we're surrendering to let go. You know what I mean? We're letting go, we're letting go. So you want to see what's all underneath here?
Yeah, let's see what it says.
Let's see. The endings. So 9-2 is when you come to an end. The 9 is the last, and then it goes to 10, which leads to 1. This is the world. The last of the major arcana. I seen Taurus, but that's just because I'm a Taurus. I see Aquarius, Pisces, Libra, Aries, and definitely Saturn. So Saturn is where the boundary is, where there's limits, where... Okay, so after Saturn, Saturn is the last planet that we can see with the naked eye. Past Saturn, you have to use a telescope.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Saturn is considered the limit, the boundary, the restriction, the law. You can't pass here, you know. So anything before Saturn is of the material world. Anything after Saturn is from beyond, or from the subconscious, or, you know what I mean?
From the unseen.
From down under. So this is really putting that boundary. It's almost as if she's holding this thing, and whatever we hold in our hand, this thing, which this never ending, whatever is never ending, omnipotent, omnipresent, which is something of the spirit. So when we're connected to the spirit, it's as if it's bringing us true light on us, like she's shining and she's naked. So it's as if she's in her full expression of herself, you know, she's her true embodiment of herself. And she's come a long way from the Fool all the way to here. So she knows what she's doing. She knows what she wants. So when she holds this thing, it's as if it brightens up this thing. It brightens up past the boundary. So we can see past the outer boundary, past the boundary of Saturn. See, Saturn's in here. But when she holds this thing, it helps us to see all these, whether they are all different parts of us, all different parts of our journey, whatever the case may be. But this is more or less like our boundary or our protectiveness that's connected to the spirit. So I don't know what this has to do with anything. Well, we're going to find out. Page of Cups. The Knight of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles. So we have this thing of, we go from page to night. That's moving up. We go from the page to the night. We're leveling up. Again, here, from the 3 to the 4. Leveling up. Again, from the 8 to the 9. Leveling up. Can't make this shit up.
Alright.
So we're leveling up. And exactly what this says here, from the ace to the world. From the world is the last, the ace is the first. Wow. That's amazing. This is so powerful. Okay. So. Oh, wow. Well, this is a big story. With the 9 of Wands in the center, this is really cool. Alright, so these are the people, or this like expression, I guess, of how we have to be in this sense, or the people involved.
Like I always say, use your intuition when deciphering the messages.
So the Page of Cups is this new love, this beginning of love. The new feelings, the butterflies, the dreamy, we should really look in this book because it is one of the coolest guidebooks out here. It's the coolest out here. Page of Cups. A romantic impulse. Dreams and reveries. Page of Cup discovers the experience of intuitive sensual perception of the world through one's own experiences and sensations and the eternal now. He serves the kingdom of emotions and relations and proclaims some events or chances in this field. As a rule, it is something pleasant, fresh feelings, new acquaintances, or fascination or obsession with something or somebody. It can be something new, even in current relations, a gift, a love, a confession. Page of Cups can indicate that an alluring invitation or a sincere compliment is on its way. Somebody may show an apparent friendliness or interest in you, but Page of Cups is not ready for depth of relationships or dramaticism. He is too young and volatile for that. This arcanium represents the state of an easy exaltation, a passion for what satisfies the actual and transitionary emotional need. For example, with new music, a book, or a person. He is romantic, compassionate, sociable, and charismatic, but at the same time naive and vulnerable, looks like a sensitive, loving, and gifted with a rich childlike imagination. This is falling in love. Sincere feelings, birth of beauty, style, like he's always dressed to impress in a sense. But it's like we're moving from this Page of Cups where it says it's almost like we're naive when it comes to love and shit like that, to this Knight of Pentacles. From learning from experiences of love and being in this situation, we move from that to this Knight of Pentacles, where this Knight of Pentacles is more experienced. He's more mature. He's slow. He's confident. He's assertive, loyal, and he's there every day, all the time. He's not switching up. You know what I mean? It's like what you're getting with the Knight of Pentacles. He's coming correct. He's coming correct. He knows, and he's working hard. He's working hard every day, so that way he could become the king and have people working for him one day. You know what I mean? He's working his way up, like from the page to this. This is the next step. And this is almost like this, like the Ace of Swords and the World, where it said about these boundaries. You know what it said about that? Page of Cup discovers the experience of intuitive sensual perception of the world through one's own experiences and sensations and the eternal now. I forget what it said, but it said something about the boundaries, and it reminded me of this being like the world and how we have to step into this Knight of Swords in order to find some kind of clarity. We almost have to do it in order to, like this page, he had to experience this and feel it in order to know what it really was. Well, he has to literally do it in order to see how it's really done. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some uncertainty here when it comes to the boundary, the limits, or these endings. So, what comes first? The 3 and the 4 or the 8 and the 9? The 8 and the 9. What do you think so far?
I don't know what to say.
I'm still confused.
It's a lot of shit.
Yeah. Take a deep breath. Well, 3's a crowd, this says. But we're putting 4 in the box.
Well, exactly.
Perhaps 3 is not enough. And we need one more. And then once we get one more, it's as if maybe we have all of the different, I see these smiley faces, and it's like each from each new experience he goes through, he gains this smiling face, pentacle. So you've experienced 3 of these. When we get the one more, it's as if it becomes locked, that we become secure, stable, balanced, because with the 3 of Pentacles, this is in reverse. So this is like a lack of teamwork. Somebody is doing more work than the other, or somebody is more loyal than the other, or you know what I mean? Here we're all using our things to work together to create this thing. But in reverse, it's like we're putting out too much and not getting anything in return, or there's a lack of teamwork. So it's as if we have to experience one more of these 3 things, or perhaps we're in the process of experience the 4th thing, because the 3 is in reverse going to the 4 of Pentacles, which is here, and we are coming from this imbalance. The 3 of Pentacles could also be a third party in here. This is somebody where there's 2. We're talking about a relationship, becoming from this to this and here to here with 2. This is when somebody else is involved, or there's an outside energy that is mixing with this. Remember how we were saying about the devil and these energies, these outside energies? This is this outside energy, whatever one of these are creating this pain, or this lack of growth, in a sense. It's like this. It brings you back to this 8 of Cups and the 9 of Swords. It's like the 8 of Cups has to come to make a path for the 9 of Swords. It's like to create this. Perhaps this is why there's this unclarity. It's like the 9 of Swords. We're almost to the end though. This is like the most maximum when we're talking about the mind, the mental here, with the Ace going to the 9. The 9 is like all of this stress and mental, like we can only think about this one thing, this pain here from this 9. But when, like I said, when we get to the 9s, we're coming into the end. We're almost to the end. We're almost out of this. It's almost as if we have to see our way out. And this reminds me of this, what I was talking about. Remember how they're like following the trail? Following this trail to this truth to the end? I was saying about O.J. Simpson, how he had his finger out the door the whole time. And the police, what they did was follow the blood droplets from Nicole's house all the way to Simpson, and he's like, well, we just followed the blood trail. And this is exactly what this reminds me of, is like following some kind of trail, but it's coming from the 8 of Cups. Now the 8 of Cups is walking away from this uncertainty, walking away from these lies, walking away from anything that's untrue, all of the things that no longer serve us, like all of these things in the devil. The 8 of Cups is very connected to the devil in many ways. So when we walk away from these strings that are attached from these, maybe this is what the stress is, walking away. It's like we're fearing walking away because it's uncertainty of what lies beyond this point. And perhaps this is what we're saying, this is what's coming. The Page of Cups is this new love and experience. We get experience with some kind of unclarity or truth or denial, some lie or denial. Maybe we're denying something. Shall we read the world since it's the only major on the table?
Denying what?
Yeah, that's why I said we should read it. The world is the only one where we're the only major on the table, which is kind of cool, but this is really telling us that we have to pay attention to the little things. It's the little things that matter. Now the world is the end of the journey. Rediscovered paradise, integrity. Everything is in its place. It says, I am the objective of each road. Eternal renewal of life and cycle, containing the end of everything and returning life to its eternal source. The world personifies serenity of soul, attained after numerous challenges. Okay, and that's exactly what this is saying, that this is attained after we lost our soul in a sense, or we lost our mind in one sense. This is gaining some kind of never-ending love with everything in its place. That's the truth. Nothing in me is against me. Total interrogation of personality. Acceptance of all its components. Freedom from contradictions. Understanding of one's own inner nature and surrounding outer forces. Ability to accept the world the way it is and find one's own place in it. You know who you are. You know why you are. You are my home. Living through the arcanium, the world returns basic trust and perception of the world changes. But not to the opposite end, like the world is nice and friendly. Rather, to the world is different. Seizes the sensation of competition, struggle for the resource in the sense that those who are better and stronger will win the most beneficial position and you'll be left with nothing. With the return of that basic trust leaves the desire to engage in the fight for the resource. Then a feeling appears that everybody has its place and people do not disturb each other. It is a special feeling to understand that the fight is needless, for the limits are only seeming, and there is a place for everyone as a chance to realize one's talent and gain recognition. The wind blows for everyone. See? The wind blows for everyone, not only for the chosen ones. The great sun warms up everybody, and not only the chosen ones. The angels communicate with all of us, and not only to the chosen ones. And the God also communicates with everyone. God talks to all of us. A person can be entitled to communicate with God every day on any occasion. I'm here in front of you, everywhere around you. I'm dwelling within you, a sense of great pleasure. I am the completeness of being. I am the world created by God so that He could love you. There's a difference between understanding God and accepting God. Because of the truths, there's pouring mutually exclusive truths, paradoxes, and tricks. And I think this is the ace in reverse has to do with this, that there's these tricks involved. But this is rising above that. It's like only when we have this connected to the spirit does the light shine on this wave, remember?
What do you think?
I'm thinking this Eight of Cups is leading to this Ace of Swords. Like we're walking away from an uneven situation, an uneven, emotionally satisfying situation. It's like something is not satisfied. It's like the candle burnt out, the light switches out. It's like no more flame. And because there is no more flame, by this blowing out, it's almost as if this smoke of that is coming into this, creating this uncertainty. Like, because this just blew out, there's this fog there. But after a little bit, that smoke clears up. You know what I'm saying? It becomes more apparent. But it's as if we're stressing about there being an ending. Or perhaps it's like we're just getting to it at the end, that, you know, the 9 is the end of this, and it's like, this is real stressful, the only thing we can think of kind of thing, the 9 of Swords. I wonder what they say positive about the 9 of Swords in here. Destructive self-analyst, self-blaming, and self-punishment. So we have to think of it as a gift from God instead of blaming it. What else, baby? This is an unmanageable wage of anxiety, longing, fear, guilt, and terror in the face of life which uplifts the subconscious. It denotes a person's consciousness immersed into the darkness, into the subconscious possession, rejecting rational exorcizations. Oh, so maybe being in this energy is fucking up with us walking away. And that's creating the uncertainty. I don't know, it could be different for all of us. All that comes from inside, though, this is compulsive thoughts have us as if under siege. All that comes from inside, though, we are sure the threat is directed from the outside. Nine of Swords tells us that there is something, including strong, unbearable anxiety, literally immersing us into a personal hell of our own negative thoughts. In the worst case scenario, the cranium indicates a trial by losses, a fear of loss and pain, in a state when it seems that the whole world is against you and God has left you. One can wish away the nightmare of the Nine of Swords. This suffering has to be lived through. Literally, by coming through its experience, the source of the fear will be found and realized on the deeper level. So this is a soul is mauled, despair, remorse, feeling guilt, exaltation, inadequate evaluation of the real situation. Often exaggeration of danger and infusion of negative thoughts. So we might be exaggerating like the depth of this, and that might be giving us some kind of uncertainty too. Either way, the stress and worry from the Nine of Swords is given some kind of uncertainty on the fact of walking away. There's some kind of fog here.
Walk away from what, though?
From these strings that we're detaching from. See, that's behind this Nine of Wands.
Like that relationship.
Yeah, perhaps. And it could be previous relationships. There's 8 cups here. It could be 8 situations. 8 years. 8 of cups. Ability to say goodbye and let go. You're right. The ability to say goodbye and let go. Under 8 of Cups, one's own state, way of life, or usual decorations, for instance, relations or work, look spent and worn out like cloth. This arcane tells of a change in paradigm, in perception of reality. A person realizes the impossibility of the way he used to live, and by his own will leaves something familiar for the unknown. 8 of Cups is a harbinger of the changes of life, which at the end can turn out to be positively perceived as they are negatively and heavily perceived now. A person is involved in the process of parting with the past. A traditional period comes, a great exodus, when his life goals, priorities change. The specificity of the 8 of Cups is that such a decision is willful, but is taken with a heavy heart in a situation that is felt to be hopeless. To say it more precisely, there is only one way out, to leave. In contrast to the 5 of Cups, nothing is toppled or spoiled here. It's just that the time has come to move on, and there is plenty of decisiveness. A person is guided by a certain force. And as bad as he may feel, the call of the way and the internal encouragement will not leave him alone, providing necessary energy. So perhaps that's this. That burning out is the necessary energy needed to walk away, and perhaps we needed this uncertainty to create this lightning bolt of like, aha, to be able to say goodbye. And perhaps that's why it is right next to the 9 of Swords, because it's like with a heavy heart.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Because it's like the end, it's the restriction. There's no more past this on the physical plane. But that's why it almost like brings us to the level up. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Like. So it almost brings it to that, like, we get this, like, now that we have this and we learn this from experiencing this, we get this, you know. Now we have this thing in our hand, and now it lights up, and now we have boundaries beyond our boundaries. Like, there is no limit when we connect with the spirit. And perhaps that's what's missing here in the Three of Pentacles going to the Four. The spirit.
That's what's missing.
Yeah, and the Knight of Pentacles, you know, he works very hard and long. It's just like slow and steady takes him here. It's not like, oh, like I was talking about, like this instant gratification. There's no more of that. It's just like slow and steady and consistent. You know what I'm saying? It's building a very sturdy foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And like this said, it's leaving the old life behind. Leave my old life behind. See the thunder? Lightning? Before the thunder. Who do you think you are? That's pretty cool. So there's security in this. I see there's security in this. It's like this cycle is ending, new cycles are beginning, especially how we think about the way we feel about changing our life. It's almost like the mind has to, it might be the mind that's blowing out the candle here. Like this initial you know, the thought or the word, or you know what I mean? Like logic. Like logic says that this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is what blew out the fire and creating this thing, but that's also what's creating a connection to the divine and creating the ending of these cycles of the same thing. It's like the same trail. You know what I'm saying? You know, everything, how it says everything has its place. It's like here too, everything. It's like everything has its place. Maybe that's telling us too, like in our houses, like everything has its place, like shit everywhere. And that will help us too, once everything has a place in our here, and like our head, it's the same as our heart. It's like we have to make space for love in our heart by connecting with the spirit to wash away these blood, clear the mind. And then I see the Nine of Swords from the other deck, like this is all he could think of, this is all he can see, and what this pain and this anxiety he takes and he writes, and from this, the most hurtful thing, he like made a whole bunch of money from it by producing this song, and the song's like #1 hit, something like that. Any question?
I don't know. Where do I go from here?
Where do we go from here? That's a good one. Let's see. I would say to the spirit. Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here?
That one wanted to pop up. The Elvis didn't want to take it. Why not? There's that Knight of Swords from today. Oh! What did I fucking tell you? The spirit. This is the God card.
Yeah.
This is where it's all white. Where it's all white before it hits and all the lights become the rainbow. And then there's color. This is all God. And this is going to the spirit with this logical mind, with this truth, with any kind of truth, really going there. And this Knight of Swords is with, like, protected. It's like almost like he's coming with the protection of the spirit, with the spirit from the spirit. Wow, this is so fucking cool. So this is where do we go? I told you, we go right into spirit for this new idea. The Knight of Cups is, the Knight of Swords and maybe the Knight of Cups. Because we are, I don't know, upgrading. We're upgrading. I so wonder what's under here. We're coming from the spirit with this Knight of Swords. He's really talking about this, communicating about it, saying or acting on this idea, this new plan. It's like I'm acting on it. It's almost like him coming from this uncertainty. See all these clouds, how he's coming out of this cloud. It's like coming out of this cloud into this clarity, into this white, because we have this spirit giving us this integrity, this nobility, this like thing. Like I said, bringing a miracle. So what do we do next? We come in here with this magician. There's this magic energy that's bringing, it's like from the spirit, this new, it's like a miracle. It's like from God. I see it's from God putting all these things in motion, like putting this whole world in motion, so that way we can come together as this Four of Wands. And that emoji. That eggplant emoji. Ouch. And tomatoes. With the Four of Wands is usually a commitment, a homecoming, something like this. Coming together. Celebration. It's when like one and one come together. So it's almost like from the spirit with this logical new idea, like this Knight of Swords going forward, trusting this magician. The magician knows that he has all the skills he needs to do this, and the skills that we're using are words. We're saying how the world goes around, or all these tools that we have. But it's like we have these tools, but we're lacking the swords. That's why he's here, prominent, coming from the spirit. That's why this is here and this is here. It's like this is what's clouding it. So the spirit clears the cloudiness, and the magician creates anything. This is the master manifestor. He's all of this in one. The magician. Fire, creativity, you know what I mean? This is very Mercury energy, where it's like real fiery communication and a lot of movement, magic.
So I need to connect with the spirit.
Yeah, and
I need to seek God.
The magician, he says, as above, so below, as within, so without.
I have been marking on that lately.
And that's where we'll find abundance and happiness. Everything will come together because we have these two. We just have to put these two together to create this. Today's live, we did a lot about the Knight of Swords. It was the one, illusion, what was it? Death is an illusion or something like that. And he was prominent in a lot of these readings. So was the mother. Who's on the top of the deck? Seven of Cups. We have a lot of options available. It's like there's so much from the spirit. It's like when one of these candles burn out, 70 of these candles relight. So don't forget that. I forget that all the time. It's like I get stuck in that. Maybe it's the fear of that. Fear of abandonment. I know. That's probably my issue. And that's why he's coming out with the spirit, like, when you're securing yourself, you don't need nobody else. And this is when true connection really happens. Yes. Alright, now we know what to do. What's coming next. Thank you, like and subscribe. Love you. Exactly what I said. Thought form concept. Oh, I guess we're recording this.
And she came back on again.
Yes. Spirit says do it. God says do it. I can't say no. The magician is a God conceiving birth of thought form concept. There is nothing impossible for the magician. If there is a goal, there will be a solution. Physiologically, the magician represents human intelligence. This beautiful mind, self-learning, biological professor. Every second it creates new algorithms and protocols, establishing neuronal grids that resemble telecommunication grids, transmitting, receiving, analyzing information. And artificial intelligence is born, and it is the magician too. One needs to command only oneself, their own personal universe of ideas and intentions. Everything is energy, and by thinking, we manage vast volumes of this energy in light and agile form, in the form of thought. A thought attempts to gain a form, trying to find its expression in an outer manifestation. A single thought does not possess a great power, but being repeated multiple times, it can be concentrated and focused, significantly gaining power. Weak and scattered thoughts, weak and scattered power, and that's this. And this is why we're coming out with this new thought, this new idea, because it's the way we think about things that connects this all together. And that's what we're missing here, like thought. Thought creates strong and focused thoughts, strong and focused powers. The magician is the epitome of faith in the power of mind and the power of positive thinking. Confidence in self, one's own powers and talents, can bring to life conscious mental energy, thanks to which fulfills the prophecy of self-realization. We become what we imagined ourselves to be. Think like every single thought is written in huge, fiery letters in the sky. The man becomes God's employee. And that's basically what we have to do. Become God's employee. The armor of God. Put on his armor and basically work for God. Because we're trying to come together under God instead of, under the state.
That's fucking crazy.
It says, the magician, a man becomes a God's employee. He's the one who helps God comprehend itself. Intellectual abilities of magician is a mutual act of creation of God and the human, a realized correlation of the world. And this process should be utterly developed and responsible. The epitome of the gift of the magician appears on condition of excellence of our thoughts. When we understand that we obtain our ideas from our source much more sublime than our ego, and that's God. And the Eight of Wands is underneath that, and that's like this thoughts, this Mercury energy, this Mercury. A perfect instrument is interested in neither itself nor in performer or melody, but only its own possibility to sound, play, and move forces of which it hasn't any idea, or change the world, because for a perfect instrument, this is the very existence. So with this, like I said, we're going to turn the world, change the world, change the thoughts of the world, and bring it into harmony, peace, and
how the fuck am I supposed to do that?
With love coming from the spirit, with God. It starts by coming with love into this everyday new routine. Slow and steady wins this race of leaving behind our old self of these thoughts that end, the thoughts of endings, the thoughts of stress, these worried thoughts, because that's what's bringing the uncertainty about these endings. So by us releasing this and coming into this sturdiness, it's bringing us this it's lighting this up, almost like bringing us closer to God with this clarity in our speech, with the Spirit making miracles happen so we can come into this happiness, into this marriage. It's like we're manifesting this it's like writing it down and manifesting it, but not only writing it down, we're writing it out in big fiery letters in the sky. Remember how it said? Like writing a letter to your future wife or husband saying, this is what I expect you to be, and this is like, almost like, right, this is what I want. Write them all. Check the boxes.
A checklist.
You write a checklist. That's exactly what he's doing. But it's almost like, well, we're going with God. We're writing it with God. The holy checklist of what kind of creation we want to create in our home life and our security when it comes to this marriage. I'm looking for love. We're manifesting this. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright. Anything else?
I don't think so. So it's saying it's coming.
Yes, love is coming. And pretty fast, too. The Knight of Swords. But it's building slow and steady. The love is building slow and steady. It's always going up, though. From, like, the page to the right, the 8 to the 9, the 3 to the 4, the ace to the 12. You know what I mean? We're steady moving up as long as we're working as an employee of God. Because of our thought forms.
I've been laughing on that.
Yeah.
I have been.
Me too. I need to meditate more.
I really have been.
Seriously.
That's crazy that came up like that.
7 of Cups. There's many options, choices. Split it to the Temperance, says God. The Spirit.
Many options. Which option do I?
There's a lot of options. The Ace of Cups is new love. From the Spirit. Which this starts with yourself. With the Spirit and your connection. With the love in yourself. And that's when it starts. When your cup overflows, this is when you can fill other people's cup up. And the Ace also has to do with filling it up with love. From the Spirit, with the Spirit. It reminds me of that reading I was saying today. It's like we're filling it up and filling it up. It's like the Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady, and we're filling it up, and then it comes out of nowhere. Well, it comes out of there from God. Oh yes, I'm still recording. That's so cool. I thought I stopped it. And look, the 2 of Cups. So it's definitely coming. Perhaps the 7 of Cups is there. Say there are many choices to explore the options. Don't settle with just one. Don't have fear. That's why we're supposed to fill our cup up with the Spirit. It's hard work. It's a hard day's
I want a lot of options. So I want like one option.
8 days a week. You don't want a lot of options? Well, how are you going to find the right one if you don't have many options?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, but I'm tired of just like... I guess that's what I gotta do. I mean,
yeah. This is the 2 of Cups. You have to accept this from the Spirit. You're accepting this new love from the Spirit by exploring all your options. That's the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Cups. Then this breakup happens. Then you find this true love. Knight of Cups, your wishes come true. The 9s are usually, you're very confident in this. Almost like drunken on love. But 9s also have to do with the self. Like I said, it's like you have to fill your cup up first before you can fill anybody else's cup. And we have to do that with the Spirit. And that's when our arrows start flowing. Then Cupid's involved. Oh, I did that. Yeah, isn't that cool? really meditating, connecting with the spirit, and leaving these out. The Nine of Swords, like the things that we think out, because we're just moving forward, just so you're on the right path moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, yeah.
Right.
If I'm
As long as
circling the line, what can
you
you
do,
do?
yep. As long as you keep taking the right step forward, using your intuition and connecting with the divine, you're gonna make the change that's needed in order to dump your cup into somebody else's. We're almost there too. Those nines coming into the tens, that's coming out of this new beginning. So yeah, we're close. Close. All right. For real, we're done now. I don't know if I showed that. All right, love ya. Bye.